All right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. Without a doubt, this is terrorism, is what this is. I kind of wish they would have kept tabs a little longer and just let them run out that ground ball. You know, maybe like start to get some undercover people there in the actual lab where these folks are working, who can finally figure out what the hell is happening. I mean, why are you bringing in something that can cause some type of germ warfare? I mean, it's one thing if you stop it, but I don't know. Piano Fingerbanger says, dangerous fungus, getting some Last of Us vibes. Chris says, why smuggle it if it's for legit reasons? Chris says it must be pretty easy to get biological agents out of that lab in Wuhan. Nick says, what's he trying to smuggle in? A little pangolin tartar? Show of hands. Was COVID created in the lab, or was it an accidental thing from a goddamn bat in the middle of the market? Because I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, but it's really tough to get to accept the fact that it was just like some wild creature that caused COVID. Because, you know, they got the fucking lab. I don't know. I don't know if I think I'm more believing that it was created in the lab and then it was unleashed with the intent to have happen what happened. I don't think it was an accidental release. I think it was made in the lab and then introduced to the world to cause this shit. Chris says, or Randy Marsh fucked a pangolin. I don't know who Randy Marsh is. Starman says, I'm surprised the paper trail hasn't convinced you yet. Well, I'll be honest with you. I got to a point where I said, fuck it. I don't even give a shit anymore. You know how it is when things are like, you don't really, it's like, well, what the hell can I do? I'm not even going to let it bother me. I take everything in stride. Takes a lot to get me to do anything, frankly. Randy Marsh, South Park reference. Again, I don't get it. All right. I was tipped off by our good pal, murder lover Linda, as she's trying to, by the way, enjoy this podcast and watch the addictive Karen Reed trial, which appears to be never ending. She said to me, you got to watch on Netflix a documentary about the Thunderbirds. Now, those are the guys who, they're the pilots who they do all the shows and shit and all the fucking, you should go to the air show and then the finale is the Thunderbirds. Every once in a while, those shows get interesting because they like collide. But otherwise, it's like, God, all right, great. Now I can't even get behind that. I'm sure it's awesome. That reminds me, the Thunderbirds caused a traumatic experience to my kids. I've told this story before, but it's worth mentioning again. Madison was not born. Summer of 1998. Pooh Bear, EZ, Jim, and Jack. Jack is in a stroller. Jim's walking around. And we had to leave because the Thunderbirds, they're fucking flying so goddamn fast that they went over and there was no sound. And they were buzzing everybody. They in my mind, they were 600 feet off the ground. And we're on the tarmac of this big fucking Air Force base. There's like a replica of the Enola Gay. You got the World War II Mustangs and the Spitfires, and then all of a sudden, and then about a second and a half later, there's wind and the loudest noise that has ever. It was like God screaming down at us. And Jim's like, oh, fuck. He's a kid. He's a toddler. Jackie's just, and I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. And I look down, and this is all within a second and a half. And she's looking at me, and she's like, and I can't hear her screaming, but she's going, she's so scared. And I'm like, Jesus fucking shit, we gotta get the fuck out of here. So she's just so terrified. So, okay, come here, pick her up. They're there, little one. And Jim's fucking freaking out. And we get back into the Chevy Corsica. And I gotta get the fuck out of here. There's no place for you guys. So we're going leaving. And we get onto I-94. And they came back around for another fucking pass, and we had no idea. And we're actually now, this is several minutes later, but they're back for more. And at the exact moment that we are going on 94, leaving the Air Force Base, getting up to speed, just merge on, sure enough, I see them, I go, oh no, they're back. And being in the car did nothing for the noise. Because it was the same thing. They screamed over. I was like, 3, 2, 1. Blammo! So loud. And man, oh God, the car's like rocking from the fucking blast of air and sound that hit us. It was like, what the fuck? Holy shit. And then Jackie just lost her shit again. Which reminds me, at Madison and Ash's wedding, and Jackie's what do you call it? Not first lady, not best bride, maid of honor speech. She said Madison spends most of her time crying or something like that, which kind of falls in line with when I pick on her on this show. And she when she get at the end of the day, when it's bedtime, that's typically when she's going to kind of start thinking about something, and she's going to start crying. And I don't really know about this story, but she is very, very bothered by, there's a story, and Nick asks, you said before that Jackie and Maddie didn't get along. Are they all good now? Oh, they're very close now. Very, very close. In fact, part of Jackie's maid of honor speech was, for about the first 14 years of Madison's life, we did not get along. But then something clicked. So they're very, very close. That's a good question. Last night, poor Madison, and she had, earlier in the day, she goes, Dad, what do you think about that aid ship for Palestine? Now, I don't know about this story. And I go, she goes, yeah, there's an aid ship that they won't allow to help the people of Palestine. And they're probably, now, again, college liberal. And she wants to help. Like, she wants to go and she wants to go to Palestine and, help all those people. Now, this is not my place to say something like, if you go there, they're going to kill you. Because I know she's not going to go there. But I'm still not going to say it. She goes, yeah, there's an aid boat that, I don't know. I don't know the details, but in my mind, or in her mind, it's like Trump is going to. I go, who's going to kill the aid workers? She goes, the Israelis are they're going to sink the boat and kill. They're going to murder all the aid workers in this genocide. I said, okay. I did not know that. And so then that kind of comes and goes. And then I guess she thought about it a little more because she was laying. I jumped in the shower. I get out of the shower, and she's laying in bed with Mom and the 3 dogs, and she's crying. And I go, what is the matter? And I'm hoping it's not going to be something like something that's really sinister or sad or bad. And it wasn't, because it was all about this boat, this aid boat, and they're all going to get killed by Trump or the Israelis. And she's crying, and I'm like, oh, thank God. In my head, I'm like, thank God. I thought it was actually something that was important. So I didn't say anything. I go, well, honey, it's going to be okay. She goes, it's not going to be okay. And she's like starting to really come unglued. And I'm like, oh, God, DS case. Here we go. Oh, no. And, I don't know what to say to somebody who's experiencing that. Because she really wants to, like help these people. But I don't think she knows how or anything like that. And I don't have anything to say. No. We're driving. Stop it. Nick says, does she not know they fling people off roofs there? I'm using that. That is going to be said. Thank you for feeding me that. You are grounding me and giving me more ammunition. Madison, you need to know something. And she's going to be crying, I want to go save the Palestinians. You know that they would throw you off a roof for being gay. That's a great line. Amy says, Maddie just has a very sensitive soul. Exactly right.
Hello? Yeah, hi, Maddie. What's up? You sound like you're upset. Your mother is upset because your DS case is missing and you can't find it anymore? Uh-huh. Huh. So I'm guessing that it'll probably turn up, over time. It probably just can't find it right now because you're rushing looking for it. We'll find it, I promise you.
This is audio from last night. She was talking about Gaza.
I want to find it now.
She said, I want to help Gaza now.
Me too. I want to find it too, but it might take a little looking. Okay, well, it sounds like you're having a rough start to your day. I'm sorry. Okay, I love you.
Love you too.
All right.
I'll talk to Mommy.
Sure, it'll be okay.
I'll talk to Mommy.
Yeah.
I like how she's annoyed there.
Hey, can you put Mommy on?
Hello?
Wow. We recorded that. It's awesome.
Oh, yay.
That was me last night. I should have kept the audio from last night to play that like 25 years from now. I don't know what the occasion would be. I don't remember when I was 22 years old being very liberal-minded like that, Because when I was 22, we were blowing up Arabs in Iraq. You know, the Gulf War, the first Gulf War. Nick says, can we know why she called you crying the other day now? Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We had an alarm going off at the house. It's going to seem not as big of a deal as it was yesterday, but when it happened. But it was an absolute code red. Okay, and we got a phone call. Hey, I need my Social Security card to be able to get a marriage license. And so Diana's looking for it. And I noticed that she was kind of rooting around in things. And I'm like, what are we looking for? And she tells me. I go, oh. And then she goes, yeah, we got to find that. And Madison is on her way home. Okay. And, but I haven't told her yet that we can't find it. So we got to find it before she gets home. Okay? Like Madison had asked for the Social Security card. Hey, Mom, can you give me that? I know you're a parent. You kept all my shit. I need my Social Security card. Yeah, no problem. We got it. Of course. We don't. So she says, Pooh Bear's looking for it, you know. I'm like, okay. So, Diana's getting ready to leave. She had to go, like, get her nails done or something. It was like a week and a half before the wedding. And she goes, okay, keep looking for it. And can you tell her, can you break the news to her when she gets home? And I'm a team player. I'm like, well, whatever you need. Yeah, I'll figure something out. And if we can't find it, we'll do something online. Somehow we will figure this out. She goes, okay. She leaves. So I open up that Find My app, and I can see she's moving on the map from Holland to where I'm at. Like I can see in real time she's on Chicago Drive, and it says 6 miles away, 5 miles away. So I'm like counting it down. And I'm like, oh, God. So I'm looking in all the spots that it could be, knowing that there's possible doom. Then I get a phone call, and it's Pooh. And I go, hey, what's up? And she says, well, I told her. I just told her. And it's not good. I'm like, well, I thought you said you were going to. Yeah, I know, but it's just one thing led to another. And I was, she could tell I was being evasive, so I just told her. And she's losing her mind. I'm like, oh, fuck. Now, all the while, I think it might have been in between podcasts that this was happening. I'm not sure. It's all a blur to me, but I knew. I was like, oh, no. So I'm like, fuck, she's going to come flying up the driveway. And just look out, okay? You might as well call the cops now. I'm looking on the map. She's 1.5 miles away. And then Pooh Bear calls me and says, she's just going to use a pay stub. So she's fine now. Now. This is in minutes. And sure enough, she comes walking in the house and she's fine. And I thought she was going to lose her mind. But she is 100%. Hey, hi, Dad. I go, oh. How's it going? Good. And then I didn't say a word. Later on in the day, she goes, oh, I'm lucky. I'm going to use my pay stub. Mom said she couldn't find the Social Security card, but that's fine. And I go, yeah, of course. Of course it is. Next day. And that's when I did the show. But the next day happens. And either the pay stub didn't have the number. Yeah, that's what the pay stub didn't have the number. And so same thing. Repeat performance. Oh my God. Oh my God. we can't get married now. Like, no, you can. And so she's a crystal baller. She's going to look into the crystal ball, and she's going to tell me what's going to happen. No matter the scenario, she has a crystal ball. And she always has the conclusion of every scenario. This is the worst crystal ball ever because it has never once actually been right. Okay? And when she's in that fevered pitch, you try to like, well, there you go again. You're kind of like predicting the future. And honey, remember, it never works out that way when you look into that crystal. She's losing her mind. So she says that she needs a tax document. And anything like an old W-2 or the actual return. So I'm getting all this freaking out, and the answer is right there. Now, I didn't even know that you could use that. But she goes, I see the Social Security card. She says the Social Security card or all these tax documents. I'm like, well, you should have led with that. I've got that shit. I got all that shit. I got everything of yours. If I can walk in the other room, I plucked it right out. It was right there. It was ready to go. So she comes home. Eyes are puffy. Still, the face is wet. Her hair's wet. And I just left it like in one. This is what I did. Left it on the table. And I wrote Madison on it, or like you put it in an envelope, I wrote Madison. And I texted her, yeah, everything you need's on the kitchen table. You're good to go now. And then she got it. She disappeared into the day. And I left. I didn't really, because in the backyard there, you go through the backyard, and then there's a dog kennel, and there's all sorts of tree cover. And I'm back in there hiding, and she's in the house. And then I'm like, trying to see if she's, what's going on in the house. I can't really see it because of the glare, but I know she came and got it, and she left. So I vacated the premises, did not want to be around because even though we have solved the problem, something bad could happen. So then I went back in the house after she left, and the next thing I know, she comes home, and she's got the license. That's what you fill out on the day of the wedding day with the witnesses and all that other shit. I don't know. But my God, it was as bad as, because when it comes to like wedding week, any of that shit is like magnified times 8,000. If any of you have a daughter that is about to get married or one day will get married, just remember this. There is no request too big. And don't speak, no matter what. And if necessary, for your own safety, get out of the house when necessary. Carry a weapon in case you got a shooter, and that could happen. And, that happens. 9 out of 10 weddings, the bride gets shot by the dad. And they don't talk about it, but it's true. 90% of all brides get shot by a family member in self-defense. It's a little-known secret. So just something to think about going forward when your daughter is getting married. So that's why I wasn't willing to, now I'm like, fuck it. It's all water under the bridge. Now you're married. Who gives a shit? Fuck it. No big deal. Rebecca says, I'm taking notes for my dad. Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't know if it ever gets better, like with the youth, because, Madison's 22, and Rebecca's like 52. So I don't know if it's, I think it still is just as intense for an old buzzard like her. Rebecca says, my dad survived raising 3 girls. I have faith that he will be super chill. I do too. I do too. Sorry, I just heard something behind me. I was expecting that door to come flying open and Madison to put me into a rear naked choke, but she's not home right now. But she might be on Facebook. I don't know, enjoying this great story. Boy, am I even on Facebook today? I don't even know if I went live on Facebook. I don't think I did. I might have. No. I'll just toggle it on. I might be on. Oh yeah, now it's good. Now it's going on. Good. Okay. Welcome to the folks on Facebook, YouTube, and I think TikTok. I think this is the first day that my show actually is going to be available on TikTok. That's something new that just happened. All right. I don't even know how we got into that level of the discussion. I think it was Nick who said, "EZ, can you tell us that story now?" So there you go. Off and running on a show that is an hour and 25 minutes old already. So if you're joining me on Facebook, the first part of the show is available on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. You can email me on the Shoreliners Striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. I'd love to hear from you. Chris says, LOL, I just got the YouTube alert. In addition, my show is available on another platform called Patreon. In fact, I've got a Patreon bonus podcast today that I'll do shortly after I finish this one up as I'm trying to catch up on the day. patreon.com/Eric Zane. Thursday, we have a Big Fraud Thursday. Ben Glaze and myself will get together for Who Are These Free Beers, the show that we promised you last week until I realized I had the rehearsal dinner to be at. What a dumbass. We will take care of a brand new edition of Who Are These Free Beers, followed up by the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Patreon is free for the first 7 days. I would love you to try it out for free. And this isn't like a trick to try to get you to pay. What you do is you go to patreon.com/Eric Zane. Sign up for 7 days free. The only thing that might make you raise an eyebrow is that you have to put in a payment form. But fear not. After you do that, cancel it, and you will still get the 7 days. I do that because I just want you to get it for the 7 days, and in case you don't want it, I don't want you to be inadvertently charged. If you don't like it after 7 days, you're out. You tried. It's all that matters. Thank you so much. But if you like it, you can go back into your profile, re-enable your card, and then I'll charge you the $5 or $10 a month. Some people are like, fuck, EZ, I'm just going to do it. And I appreciate you for that. Thank you, as always, for supporting me on Patreon. That, again, is my second platform that is supported only by dollars and cents from audience members for $5 or $10 a month. If you go the $10 a month, you get the audio, the video, the live streams, the first crack at all new material, and the $5 is all of the recorded audio. Nothing live and no first cracks at new material. But for some people, that works out too. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Looking forward to another edition of Big Fraud Thursday. Okay, so I saw this thing about this basketball player, DeMarcus Cousins. When I first saw this, I was like, is this in the NBA Finals? What the fuck is going on here? But no. The dude plays in some basketball league in Puerto Rico. And this has been probably the biggest altercation of a basketball player with fans since the Malice at the Palace. This one started where the guy was just standing there, the big guy, DeMarcus Cousins, and some fan starts like going like this, rubbing his eyes like the guy's crying. And so the dude, DeMarcus Cousins, grabs him and grabs his dick, his own dick, like, yeah, here you go. And then the fan, who is courtside and seated, puts up both middle fingers right in his fucking face. And then the dude, the basketball player, puts hands on the guy. Nothing major, just kind of like swats at his hands a little. And then now it starts to escalate. Let's jump in to this video right now, and if you're listening to the audio podcast, by all means, you gotta see this. This is a pretty good one. All right, there he is. He's big as a house. There's the fan. He's like whining, acting like he's a crybaby. This guy grabs his balls. Now this guy gives him the finger. Video to the left of him. Now he touches him. Basketball player touches the fan. Now they blow the whistle. They're like, all right, enough. The fans are getting into it. They're trying to hold the guy back. Now this fan gets up. They sit him down. Trying to break it up. No big deal. All right. But this guy got kicked out of the game for that. So now he's leaving the court. And you know these Puerto Ricans, they all got fiery tempers. This guy's walking off the court. They're all screaming. All right, now this is where it's dangerous because he's walking out of this tunnel surrounded by fans at all of the high ground. I'm sure no one said the N-word. This is another angle. Here's a close-up of DeMarcus Cousins going crazy when fans threw beer at him.
Ante molesto. Ahí DeMarcus Cousins, ahí lo ve, dejándose sentir ante el público y eso no va a quedar bien.
Yeah.
Ahí esto se acaba.
That announcer is saying something bad about black people.
Esto
You
pasó
can
a
actually hear him. He said the N-word in Spanish there.
mayores. Desafortunadamente,
That's
ahí ven la
terrible of
seguridad
him to
de
do
Cousins tratando también, en la medida que sea posible, de detener de alguna manera u otra y los fanáticos respondiendo.
Yeah, this is
Ahí nos vamos a una pausa,
Maliso at the Palaso is what this is. In Puerto Rico. Cousins, 34 years old, hasn't played in the NBA since the 21-22 season. Yeah, I don't know anything about the guy. Bob says, of course, his number is 0 for loser. I don't know, man. I kind of am. I'm kind of on his side. Nick says, hit him in the cup with the face. I think that if you're gonna be courtside like that, and you're gonna do like the crying, and then the guy's gonna grab his dick, and then you're gonna give him the finger like that, I think it should be okay for the guy to punch you right in the face. You know? And then you don't get kicked out. You can just punch the fan right in the fucking face. But you have to agree that if there's a lawsuit, you will pay for everything. Like you can actually waive your right to not getting to the NBA not getting sued or whatever league that is in Puerto Rico. Bob says, oh, poor sports can't take a little taunting. Yeah, that's true. But you got to understand, this guy's playing for probably next to no money. So he's probably pissed off as it is. He's 34 years old, old by NBA standards, probably at the downside, probably not going to play that much more. So he doesn't give a shit. Of all the leagues that you don't want to taunt the player, it would be the guy in this league because he doesn't give a shit if he gets kicked out of some loser league in Puerto Rico. I love that. I love it when there's moments like that. I think there was a fucking line brawl in the Florida-Edmonton game last night. I just remembered it, and I don't have it called up. But I think I can get it in short order.
I don't really like committing to things.
Oh.
I'm scared. But when Verizon announced...
What's the name of that guy whose dad died in 9/11? Pete Davidson? That's him. All right, hang on. Whatever happened to skip ad? All right, here we go.
Chance of we want the cup begin. It's only game 3.
Frederick taking a run at the end. Oh, yeah, now he just got a penalty. Frederick just cross-checked Bennett. Frederick taking a run at the end. Oh, yeah, now he just got a penalty. Frederick just cross-checked Bennett. Broke his stick, and now Bennett's going to get even. That was Greer and Nurse.
Not bad.
We're just going to start seeing 10-minute misconducts getting handed out.
Gadjevich and Nurse to the left of your screen, throwing punches.
Yeah, these two on your left.
Smith's helmet has come off. He's tackling
really
with
kind
Connor
of extend
Brown.
this thing out. Now to bad
Gadjevich
scrap.
still going at it with Nurse.
Nurse is holding tight. He's holding tight
Nurse
there.
and Gadovich.
There's Bennett and Frederick.
You can't really, if your name is going to be Nurse, you better be a fighter.
And Gadjevich continue to go at it.
Wow. Okay. Gets that. Okay. Dude from Florida gets that right free. That's the problem.
Nurse with an uppercut.
Oh.
You got Schmidt and Brown to the left.
Gadjevich is smiling during this fight.
This goes on for a while.
And the officials are just going to let these guys tire themselves out regardless of the outcome.
They just give up here.
You got Corey Perry.
Gadovich here.
Everybody on that bench for the Oilers.
I'm tired.
And they separate on their own.
What took place moments ago?
Yeah. Trent Frederick, Matthias Ekholm. There's the punch by Frederick. No penalty, not there. This is the penalty. He shatters his stick right in the ribs of Bennett. And now all heck breaks loose.
And watch Darnell Nurse come out of nowhere and hit Greer right there. And then everybody pretty much finds a partner.
Yeah, Ekholm didn't know what to do there. Because Greer grabbed him. And then Gadjevich.
There was Paul Bissonnette was talking that there's some type of scam going on where teams from Florida are getting great players because of the tax system. The players aren't taxed like income tax in those states. So good players want to go to Florida. Thus, all the Stanley Cup teams from Florida, Tampa, and the Florida Panthers. Oh, well. Whatever. I don't even give a shit anymore. The Red Wings suck dick. So who gives a fuck? All right. Where am I now? Do I have anything left? Oh, my God. You got to see this. This is the last thing I have for you. This is probably the greatest catch you are ever going to see in baseball. You will probably never see a better catch than the one last night. The guy's name is Denzel Clark. He plays for the Oakland A's. Watch this shit.
And this one to center field. Denzel Clark on the move back after he stepped towards home plate. He makes another catch.
Oh my God!
Back to back.
Pitcher cannot believe that his dude just pulled that out of the stand.
That's where he wins the electric play of the week, and he's already on
The batter's like, what? Did he catch that?
for this week.
You kidding
Go
me?
ahead and book it.
And this dude who caught it, he looks like a fucking crackhead.
I've heard the list. I've seen the list of the greatest catches you're ever going to see in your life. If you don't have room for this one on your list, we're watching two different sports.
Holy shit.
I mean, Denzel.
He puts one foot on the wall. He's in like over the fence.
Clark climbs the ladder and then hangs
Get
out.
the fuck out of here.
You want to talk about playing above the
You
rim,
have
folks.
to
This
see
ball
this
is
shit
out of the
if you're listening to the audio
ballpark by
podcast.
5-6 feet. And Denzel says, nay, nay. Give me that back.
God, is that intense?
Can we talk about his first step being in?
I'm starting to like baseball. That's weird. Holy shit. About traveling to play in Florida, Ndamukong Suh, former Lion, got to keep like $30 million more when he went to the Tampa Bay Bucks. How does Florida stay in business if they don't charge income tax? Actually, I take that back. I lived in a state that didn't charge income tax. State of Tennessee doesn't have income tax, but they had an 8.5% sales tax, and they tax food. So you have to pay 8.5% on, like, if something's $1, you got to add 8.5 cents to it. You see how I figured that out? Either that or it's 8.5% on everything, and then food is 6% or some shit like that. I don't know. I like that, though. No income tax. I like that better than paying. You know, I like the system set up the way that is. You know? Chris says, I couldn't get that much air on a trampoline. Yeah, I don't think anybody could. That was a hell of a play. Jeremy says Florida has Disney World. That's how they survive. You know, that's true. They do. So much money comes in from tourism. There's no doubt about it. All right. Thank you, as always, to Kuiper Tree Care. And thank you to John R., who just reached out to Kuiper Tree Care and hired them. I appreciate that, John. 616-828-8225. KUIPER, treecare.com, 616-828-8225. They take care of tree removal, stump grinding, storm cleanup, tree pruning, tree risk assessment with their 3 certified arborists. KUIPER, treecare.com. Call or text 616-828-8225. They're racing this weekend at Berlin. The ARCA races are in town. $20, so a little bit more. Buy your tickets in advance. They go up at $11.59. Go to BerlinRaceway.com. Get your ARCA tickets for stock car racing at Berlin Raceway. The touring ARCA season makes a stop at beautiful Berlin Raceway. Good time last week there, by the way. I had a great time outside of the mini wedges. God, fucking so annoying. BerlinRaceway.com, BERLIN Raceway.com. Everything's great except for the mini wedges, just my opinion. Frank Fuss from My Policy Shop Insurance is the best. If you are in need of health care from, you don't have it from your employer, or you're in between jobs, or you're self-employed, own your own business, you got to get your insurance from the marketplace, healthcare.gov. Have Frank help you every step of the way. Go to buyinsurancehere.com, B-U-Y. I almost said B-U-I. B-U-Y, insurancehere.com. Frank is the best. He will help you out. We have an asshole of the day that we have to award. Trying to figure out who it could be. I have an idea. If you have any suggestions, by all means. Okay. This one's a little lengthy. Okay. I don't even know if I'm going to have enough room. This is setting a record for the most words on an Asshole of the Day award. But I have it. If there's any suggestions, I want to see them right now. L.A. looters, L.A. protesters. I'm going to go with reporters who get in the way of rubber bullets. That's right. Reporters who get in the way of rubber bullets. Your assholes of the day. Thank you for being here on a late free podcast. Still have the Patreon bonus podcast. And I'll get to that later on. Well, hopefully pretty soon because I only have so many hours left in the day. So, God damn it, let's go. Thank you so much, folks. Join me on Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zang. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.